Hello, friends, Earth critters. What am I saying? Hope you're doing amazing. I wanted to send you guys some love, and it's been hectic. It's been crazy. I'm looking over here, but the camera's over here. Whatever. But yeah, myself adjusting to everything, and now just working from home on my business completely and everything is interesting. But I'm grateful for the opportunity, which means lots more focus on things that I enjoy doing, so I'm excited about that. But today I'm bringing you guys a reading a little bit pertain to the events going on, possibly some advice on what to do to keep ourselves sane as we are moving into a quarantine or whatever. Some people call it lockdown, some people call it sheltered in place, whatever. I don't know. But I do feel as though we will be kind of moving forward into that. The movements are already in place. So we shall see. Everyone has their own opinions, but I always say, regardless, read between the lines, be open to all the possibilities. Don't write anything off. It's very easy to be like, oh, that's too terrible to happen, but sometimes it could be possible, or sometimes we overthink and think to the extreme when that might not be the reality, or listen to others that think to the extreme when they are not necessarily thinking in the reality that we are in. So being aware of what sources and who you listen to and all of those things. But I'm doing a Kundalini Reiki session by distance for you guys. I explain all of my findings and let you know, exactly what is vibing, what isn't vibing, and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, it's Kundalini Reiki, which is probably one of in my opinion, most intense forms of Reiki that I'm certified in. The energy is just crazy. It really is. I can't even explain how insane the energy is. But that's a very good kind of practice, or something to kind of clear out your energy, cleanse your energy. A lot of times illnesses are presented and are brought up in our bodies because of emotional trauma and things that we're going through. So those little imprints in our energy is what kind of allows that flower or that plant to bloom and blossom and start growing. So all it takes is a seed of a thought, or a traumatic experience, or something that's happened in the past that we haven't gotten over, and it can kind of plant itself in the body and begin to grow. And different things, outside circumstances, environmental circumstances, can also play a part in the growth of that plant, which is that issue. So getting to the root of that issue means addressing the emotions, not only doing the outside work, which might be physical activity, eating well, healthy, whatever. It can also be addressing your emotions, making sure you're feeling your emotions and letting them pass and flow through, I guess you could say. So okay, first cord out. Plan on doing, I was thinking about doing multiple decks, but this deck always seems to be the most, I don't know, blunt lately. Also, you can see my skin is shining. That is the body butter or manifestation butter that I use. And if you can see my tattoo, I got this 3 years ago, and it looks amazing. All I've really been using is my body butter on it, and it looks like I just got it. The ink is very vibrant, so I don't know. Shameless plug for myself. Okay, so we've got Charles and Ray Eames, I want to say. Design your days, don't plan them. Aspire to profound practicality. Be unbending in your flexibility. So this kind of reminds me of how we are all kind of being encouraged to stay at home right now. This specifically could represent, it kind of makes me think of like the molecular structure of the body, or even the nervous system, or something of that nature. And I feel like it's kind of speaking to how this is a very introspective time where a lot of people are complaining, but it's a time where we are able to kind of balance our meridians and finally get in tune with ourselves and actually breathe. And instead of planning our days, we can design them and do whatever we want for once. Like, when do we ever get the opportunity to do what we want? Even though it's a very, you know, strange situation, dangerous situation for some people. And, you know, for others, we still don't completely have the information to know who it is dangerous for and who it isn't, even though we kind of have an idea, but we are seeing some question mark cases. So with that being said, even if all of that is going on, we are being encouraged to have gratitude for allowing ourselves, or having the opportunity to finally really be present with ourselves and have that opportunity to design our days instead of plan them. I saw a friend of mine post like a little chart, that she created for her kids who are, you know, not in school right now. And she had like, you know, her morning tea and maybe yoga session, and then like for her kids maybe reading or math time, and then like a playtime, a snack time, like a nap time, so that you can continue to have a schedule within your home, and your kids can continue to have a schedule as well. I think it's interesting because we're kind of reverting back to this village mentality almost, or colony mentality, where you know, back in the day we didn't have TVs and work to go to, and a lot of these different things that we have to go and do. A lot of what we had was just nature, our little hut maybe, and the yard work and gathering sticks and whatever. I'm going back to like, you know, back, but you know, it kind of feels like that, where we're just doing the essentials, but otherwise, you know, we have a expansive amount of time that we are able to kind of do whatever with, even though some people are working from home and, you know, whatever, but we're able to be our own boss, in a so to speak, or so to sense, where we're able to kind of plan our schedule maybe, or think of how we can become our own boss and begin to plan our schedules. But yeah, allowing yourself to be flexible, and continuing to be flexible, because this isn't a time to, you know, complain or to get frustrated, or to, you know, be like, oh, this isn't going this way. You know, a lot of things are uncertain for everyone at this moment. So it is a time to be present and to very much go with the flow, because literally everything in the world is being shut down, stopped, you know, ceased to a halt. And so we're being asked, how can we be present and allow ourselves to flow through the process instead of getting anxious and crazy about it. So I did not do anything better to my glasses. But Caravaggio is our next card here. And it's interesting because the cards that I've been pulling lately have had this sort of energy of this overseeing sort of vibe. I feel like, me personally, I've always been a person that believed in aliens since I was very, very young. I just love anything spacey, space-sounding music. Sounds like home to me. But I've been seeing and feeling this energy of a overarching energy, kind of looking at us, speculating, observing, researching. A energy that isn't human necessarily. Could be spirit, could be aliens. I don't know, whatever you believe, whatever you think, whatever you're feeling intuitively. But there is definitely, you know, with all of this happening, there's a overarching energy. Not even necessarily like a God energy. It could even just be a different reality that is a bit more aware to things than we are. So, you know, I don't know. But anyway, try to keep violence metaphorical. Adjust your eyes to the darkness. A head on the shoulders is worth two in the hand. So to me, this means, you know, you might see a lot of kind of chaos and people maybe not getting along, being a bit frantic. When I was out today, just driving, my boyfriend was driving actually, and I was just in the passenger seat, but I was watching, and just so many cars, people just kind of swerving and being hasty and impatient. One guy almost got into an accident because he was about to turn left, you know, and was behind this person, decided last minute he wanted to merge into the right lane. And so, you know, as we were going, cut right in front of us, almost hit a car in front of him, and then another car, that car, you know, moved over, and then there was the other car that planned on merging into the lane over, and so they merged and he almost hit that car. So there's a lot of just hastiness and people having some vendettas. I've just been seeing, just even like walking around, not walking around, but driving around and observing just people out on the street. So it's been interesting, but it is a time where we are kind of having to adjust our eyes and ourselves to the darkness, which isn't a darkness. It is, I don't know. To me, the darkness reminds me of the universe, which the universe, if you think of space, is a complete black nothingness. You can't really even hear sound. And so it's like we're really having to revert back to being, you know, made of stardust and really relying on the universe and going with the flow and adjusting our eyes and our focus to that instead of to the constructs of money and the day-to-day and the 9 to 5 and all the things we're used to. This is showing us how easily that all can just, you know, be wiped away. How almost meaningless it is, and how created, I want to say, it was. You know, just an idea put in place that we're all following, and just one thing tips that idea out of place, and then you realize, wow, there's so many other possibilities that we could be going with and doing at this moment. It's very interesting. So, Artemisia Gentileschi, I don't know, I forget how to say her name. History has your back, society stabs you in it. Use your talent like a weapon, don't let convention confine you. So, it's interesting because Spirit's asking us not to necessarily conform, I feel like, within our thoughts, especially, but within our heart. But I feel like Spirit is asking us to pay attention to history more than we pay attention to society, the media, the people that, you know, all the people that have all the talk and blah, blah, blah about this. Listen to the people that you feel you can trust about what's going on, and just things in your own life. If you need advice in your own life, listen to people that you know that you can trust. But, you know, pay attention to history. Regardless, pay attention to how things panned out, how people listened. For example, a couple days ago, I was watching videos about the bubonic plague, and I found it so interesting because the moves and things they were putting in place were things that we're doing now. But I also found it interesting because they locked down the city first, so, you know, it wouldn't spread out not within. It wouldn't spread outside of, oh my goodness, outside of the city walls. So they shut everything down. And then, you know, of course, everyone was still doing their thing. So then all the people within the city were getting infected. So the next thing that they did was basically board everybody up in their homes, which you can see they boarded up a restaurant in Southern Ohio somewhere. I've seen them board up some other places. So they were boarding people up in their homes so that people wouldn't leave. Crazy, but people weren't wanting to listen either. So things were just going crazy. So, you know, they always say history repeats itself. So it is something to pay attention to. But, you know, use your talent as your weapon. Use your talent to boost your immune system because it can. Your artistic talent, your music, your singing, all of those things, whatever brightens you up, brings you joy, makes you laugh, that is what's going to heal you, along with, you know, doing some other things that's good for your body. But do the healing first and you will be healed. So I hope that was a great reading for you guys. I'll see you again very shortly. So hope you guys stay healthy, sending you good vibes, and I will see you next time.